Our discussion today addresses complex challenges at the intersection of global diplomacy, religious rights, and the operational realities of military alliances like NATO. We will break down these issues into their core components. International negotiations often involve governments making concessions. Sometimes these compromises inadvertently affect religious rights. Global diplomacy frequently prioritizes political, strategic, and economic interests. This focus can lead to agreements where the protection of religious freedoms is overlooked or minimized. This situation can cause significant distress for religious figures and communities. Their voices may feel sidelined in crucial international discussions. When the values central to a community's religious traditions are compromised in diplomatic arrangements, religious leaders can feel marginalized or ethically conflicted. These values include dignity, moral conduct, and social equity. In conflict zones, for example, strategic alliances have sometimes resulted in policies that indirectly limit religious expression. This can amplify social and cultural grievances within affected communities. Such tensions highlight the difficulty of balancing diplomatic objectives with the universal respect for human rights. It is a persistent challenge in international relations. NATO member countries generally share democratic ideals. These ideals include a fundamental respect for human rights, including religious freedom. However, NATO's primary mandate focuses on security, defense, and crisis management. It is not designed to resolve internal cultural or religious disputes within nations. Instances have emerged where religious engagement becomes relevant to broader peace and reconciliation efforts. Discussions have explored the link between religious engagement and security dynamics. These discussions show that religious groups can contribute to community stabilization and post-conflict reconciliation. NATO powers tend to view religion through a soft power lens. This involves balancing military objectives with the need to respect diverse cultural identities. It differs from directly regulating or safeguarding religious rights on the ground. NATO's capacity for action is shaped by internal structures and operational limits. These restrictions are significant and constitutionally based. NATO's founding documents, such as the Washington Treaty, define its core purpose. This is the collective defense of its member states. The mandate does not extend to intervening in the internal religious policies of any nation. It also does not cover resolving domestic religious disputes. Even when countries in conflict face internal strife with religious dimensions, NATO's role is limited. It focuses on collective defense and strategic stability, not mediating cultural or religious rights issues. During wartime, NATO operations adhere to international humanitarian law. This framework includes strict rules of engagement. These rules are designed to protect civilians and, by extension, religious communities. They emphasize proportionality and the distinction between military targets and non-combatants. NATO's activities are carefully regulated in dynamic conflict situations. This prevents actions that could worsen religious or civilian distress. In regions where religious identities are deeply intertwined with social and political life, military intervention carries risks. It can potentially inflame existing divisions. NATO operational bodies are generally advised to maintain neutrality on religious matters. Their focus remains on clear military objectives. Broader diplomatic negotiations, including those concerning religious rights, are typically left to other international organizations and bilateral diplomacy. Modern diplomacy often navigates a tension between political expediency and protecting religious rights. Leaders may make compromises for broader strategic aims. However, these compromises can cause real distress for religious figures and communities. Their concerns may not be fully addressed. Within NATO, there is growing recognition of religious engagement's importance in conflict resolution. This is seen in various international forums. Yet, the alliance's legal framework limits its capacity to directly address these issues. NATO remains focused on its core mission of collective defense. It operates within strict ethical and legal guidelines. These prevent it from overstepping into areas that are fundamentally domestic or culturally sensitive.